Can I take you on a little bit of a trip? As a young girl, I grew up in a very Italian household. Considering my parents were born here in Australia, it had a huge Italian influence, and part of that was absolutely Radio Italiana 531. So, as a lot of mums, and I'm sure everybody has had the privilege of this experience, my mum loved to cook. And our life really revolved around the kitchen and mum spending time there, and of course Radio Italiana sempre in the background. So as a young girl, I probably just got used to hearing the sounds of the Italian language in the home, along with the cooking and the music. And then that brings me to Sunday mornings as well in the home. And I'm not quite sure, I haven't worked out yet, if Dad did this on purpose just to get teenagers out of bed, or if it was his love of Italian music. But my father would put the radio full blast, Radio Italiana, full blast on a Sunday morning after a big night out as a teenager. And he would also include the pleasure of him playing a fisarmonica or the organ. Grazie, Nick. So I don't think you realise until you grow older how much of an influence, it makes me get a bit emotional, growing up with those sorts of memories, the music, the sounds, the aroma of cooking, everything, how much it contributes to the person you become when you grow older. And obviously then we were heavily involved in the Italian community growing up in many ways, as you know, through clubs. It was a great upbringing, and it was certainly very Italian whilst living in an amazing country like Australia. And I have a lot of fond memories, happy memories that make me feel good. As I grew older though, it felt like something was missing. And it was just a feeling, even though there's this amazing love for your children and your family, I still felt that mancanza. And then I received a phone call, and a phone call that I'll be forever grateful for, from Rob Di Ciocco, who invited me to come along to the radio. I came and I was incredibly fearful, and he introduced me to the radio, and I just felt like alive again. But I was really scared to get involved. But I'm so grateful that he pushed and said to believe in myself. I watched these amazing people sit behind the console and present programs, and I also discovered what the radio does for the community. And I thought, I just have to be a part of this. That's that feeling that was missing.
I remember some of my earliest memories with my nonna driving in the car, and she always had the radio on from a young age, going to the shops with her. And my family, all from Abruzzo, all four grandparents moved over at some point, basically in the 50s.
Can you tell me about Club G?
Yeah, so Club G was created as a youth committee and radio show to broadcast the radio and Italian music to a kind of a greater, broader network of younger Australians and Italians across Australia and I guess the world. We were hoping for a place to bring young Italo-Australians together to make them feel really comfortable to immerse themselves in their culture and to have that opportunity to work on their language and to experience all the things that we are so proud of as Italo-Australians, I guess, and feel like we've done that in a way. Particular one that stands out to me actually was during the peak of the pandemic and everyone was stuck at home. We were granted an exemption to be a part of the radio, as it was something that could reach out to people who were potentially at home and help them feel like they weren't just isolated. And so I came in one afternoon with Marco, and the two of us broadcasters for about 4 hours, I think, just chatting, playing music, reaching out to the people, I guess. And it felt like, you know, at that point that we were contributing to the community, as well as the fact that it was just so much fun, you know, and just nice to be able to speak my language with a friend that I'd made in Marco, and really be a part of that. More recently, I guess, honestly, one of the coolest experiences of my entire life. We broadcast the game in Italian in entirety, and I was in a box overlooking the goals, and right next to me was a box with Shane Crawford, Dipper, these Hawks legends, and I had to pinch myself. I just couldn't believe what was happening, and we won, which was the coolest. But it was all in Italian. It was with Marco, one of my great friends, as I said before, and just an amazing experience that I would never have had without the radio.
The radio means so much to me. I feel like the radio came to me at the time where I was at a crossroads in my life. I had just finished a career, I had made a career change, and also I was heavily involved in a Italian community, which I absolutely adore and still am involved in it. But I was at that crossroads where, what's the next challenge? What can I do next? And then and through that community I met Marco and Mario, and they invited me over to the radio one day, and I fell in love when I walked into the studio. You put the headphones on and you felt like this was the missing piece. So you felt like that this was the next chapter of my life.
That's fair. I know it's more than that.
It's my therapy. The radio is therapy for me. It's a escape haven from work. I come here, it's like you're around family. It's like you're walking into Nonna's house. And I joined the youth committee, and we have so much fun. We have our program Wednesday nights, Club G, but we've also have done great programs where we've given back to the community and we've raised awareness, such as I co-chair the Drug and Alcohol Foundation program with Marco. So we are the only South Australian Italian LDAP team where we raise awareness and about the effects of what alcohol and drugs can do, especially in the youth, because we grew up in a culture where we hid it. It was hidden, it was unspoken. Mental health was never spoken about. So through this program that Marco and I have done, along with Club G, we have managed to deliver great outcomes where our first project, we were very excited because we had Sydney and Melbourne calling us, what's the Adelaide Italian team doing that we're not doing? So that was kind of like a little spark that yes, we are giving back, we are contributing to our community. And then we became a national case study, which that was a big achievement for what we did through the radio. It's what the radio, and it gives me confidence, not just when I'm here, I'm on air, when I'm having general conversations with people, when I'm at work, like it's confidence. I feel when the listeners turn on Radio Italiana 531, they feel connected, involved, included, valued, heard. There's a whole range of words that I can say, but most of all, I'll go with an example. Sometimes you don't feel like people are listening to you until once we were doing an outside broadcast and this group of 3 mature ladies came up to me and said, "Are you Antonia from Club G Wednesday nights?" You're like, oh my God, someone's listening to me. And it gives you a spark, like gives you like a little boost to keep going, because you get so nervous, especially when you don't speak Italian on air, you're speaking English, and you always got that fear, are people going to switch on and they're going to listen to you? But that moment there, that was like a real icebreaker for me, and it brought me joy to know that the listeners are listening to us and they do want us to keep going. So that's kind of like the spark why we keep coming back, why we're here. We're here for the listeners.